Hello? Alien.
Hi, class husband. Are you okay? Sheldon?
Hi. Hi, Leon. How are you?
I'm not bad, sweetheart. Not bad.
Feeling any better?
Yes, I prayed this morning and I read the word and it comforted me.
Awesomeness.
Yes.
Seems like seems as if only you and I are here today.
Look like Mr. Shan take leave. Why?
Oh, God.
Him take vacation, Pawe.
Looks so. And then we do it,
Heat
you know.
is too hot.
And then we do it. Oh, Lord. Wonder where is Don.
Hmm?
I wonder where is Don.
I don't know. I send the link in the group. I don't know.
Yeah, me use.
Me was.
Mm.
You didn't get an email from school today.
I don't have access to any of those stuff, you know.
Oh,
To be
that's good.
honest, I've never had access to any of them. I have
Man,
never ever have access to any school email
no
or
man.
them stuff there.
They send you acceptance letter via email now. in your regular email.
Oh, okay. I didn't get one.
Oh. Anyway, something need to change on it, so Sarah will sort it out.
Okay. You know, we never normally
Oh,
get
sir,
anything
them
from.
can't eat, man. Them can't
I'm a feast on that thing. I don't good at that thing, Gando.
him.
Mm.
Hi. Woi.
Oh, God. I don't know. I don't even know if we get down to canvas or any of them foolishness there.
Hold on, I
I
connected
was
a headphone. Hold on, hold on. Where's it? Seem to be having trouble.
the administrative communication class is so boring.
Why it not connecting? Okay. Oh, that's why. I may wonder who I want. Mr. Sir, Mr. Shan, Mr. Shan.
Right? Him not come on it. He might
So
be
make,
on mute.
so make him put in the group, but I'm waiting on you.
I don't know who my wait on.
They're
Yeah.
on. I'm waiting on you. Hey! Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you find the administrative communication class.
I don't join that class yet.
You not join it?
As in, yesterday, I was on the road. My brain couldn't manage. I tried to join the HRM, and then my phone went. So that was it for me for the night.
Okay.
I was kind
But
of
trust
out of it. It's
me.
disgusting.
Hmm?
How is the class?
Me not like it.
Why?
No, no, them just can't bother. Me not like going to class with some of them, because they chat too much.
Guess what? I've been there. You know what I do? I just listen when them say work time, homework, I just got deal with it. I don't have the time, I don't pay them no mind. I just make sure them see me in the class. I don't really talk. When the homework set, me do it, and that's it. I just want to pass. Not me that one. I really
Yeah,
fan
yeah.
chat. Some of them were
I thought kind
chatting
of,
and pass.
yeah. I last night, Dan message last night, and I say, if I remember, I see so they used to go on when we had the management,
Yeah.
and I mean, I already up fast.
You did
Um,
pass?
Oh God,
all right.
Mr.
Mr.
Shan.
Hello, guys.
Mr. Etalot? Mr. Shan?
No, guess what happened now? The Mr. All right, hold on now. Phone is ringing. I need to put this phone on silent. No, Mr. Rookwood is what into? Okay, what is this? 876330731. What is this? Why is this like this? Sorry. So Mr. Rookwood had a challenge getting on. So I was trying to sort him out, and
Yes, starting out Mr. Rookwood.
yes, I was. You're nasty. So Dawn is
God.
so Dawn is Dawn is
Trouble,
Bono!
Dawn has
trouble, Daddy.
Hey!
hello Dawn. Can you bring some semblance
Dan
of
is not
order to
here.
my class? Dawn is here.
Okay,
Dawn, can you
okay.
bring some semblance of order to my class, please? Because the pair of these of Sheldon and
Bono!
and Dion. All right, I need to put this. I need to put this
Oh,
thing.
God.
Trina. All right, so Trina, I soon talk to you. Hello. In a class. You see, them don't want to talk to me until it's class time, you know. What is wrong with these people? All right.
But that's not come and do it too.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Dawn. How are you doing?
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Beautiful. Anything Mr.
And the money
Chan tell you,
magnet.
don't listen. Yeah?
Dawn,
He's my
Don't
lecturer,
listen.
so I should listen.
No, man. Anything him say other than environmental statistics, don't listen.
so Dawn, you are the only one I'm teaching tonight, right? Because the others are just unnice. Others meaning
Oh my
Sheldon
God.
and
No, Don, but not lie you. The man come on, and me say, oh sir can yam so. And then him say he was then after me say, oh him can yam so. Him say, I'm sorry, I was starting out Mr. Rookwood. I said, sir, the answer, fire! I must have burn up. And then the man repeats, I said, yes, I was starting out Mr. Rookwood.
Oh, sir. Come on, sir.
The man pronounced.
So you to Dawn?
Too much. Let me say my start out Mr. Rookwood and say, yes, I was starting out Mr. Rookwood.
Oh, my God.
Tell that a liar or a true.
That's how it went.
Extra.
Two against one.
Murder.
So Dawn, this is my story and I'm sticking to it. I was sorting out Mr. Rookwood. He has a class. This place is, you know, I know what I am talking about.
Trouble.
In the bubble. All right, sir. I'm going to start out with Mr. Rookwood in the class.
I've already sorted
You're going to know to tell me which part is to start out with Mr. Rookwood in the class.
No, man, I've already sorted him out.
Hey, all right, Sam. You don't want to hear no more.
Mhm.
You just speak yourself.
Oh, not me. I know what I'm talking about.
You
So,
know
When
what
said
I'm
yeah, they go
talking
think
about?
himself.
Think himself deep.
while sorting it out, while sorting it out. Okay, okay. Let's go.
Okay, I for the joke today. Funny.
Yeah, little laugh better
You're
than
better
war.
than fun.
All right.
True,
Okay. So
true.
let's go. I'm not seeing the others, but I think we
But
need
yes,
to.
where is it, the young man, Ishmael? What's
Yeah. So
up?
I have no clue, but I think we need to. I think we need to get going. Um, we have we have quite a bit to look at, and I also want to do um, some basic calculations with you. Nothing to scare you, but I don't want you to think that they. Oh, thanks, Dion. I don't want you to think that the statistics is just read up. So I'll go through some more read up, and then what I'll do next is to do the some calculation, and then I go back to the last set of read up. So I'm finishing off unit one, which is just really an introduction. I have two sections of the introduction left. There are 5 areas under the introduction. So there are 2 other sections on the introduction that I will do shortly. But nonetheless, though, how are we? Are we ready to go? I mean, as I said before, I'm going to be doing some math. So make sure that you have your book, your pencil, your pen, your ruler, ready for school. Um, so it is that we can.
Or did you talk to the principal?
No, I didn't know, man. Remember when you called me and I was actually preparing to come on. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I have his number, so I can talk with him outside of school. But, um, what I need to do though, Dion, is to have a conversation with you because I was also late in coming on because Mr. Panton called me regarding the PR.
Mm.
So
And
and I don't want to discuss it here, but I mean it's good things. What time you have PR today? 7 to 9?
I think so.
All right. So in a nutshell, he's just asking if you could join the class half an hour to 45 minutes before the class ends or before, but you just need to be present so that at least you appear on the register, the Zoom register. So you need to touch base with the other members of this class so that when you exit the group, at least they can, fill in on the areas that you need to
When
cover.
is it? When is it best to do? To come on, go into his class first thing or last thing?
I would say you can mix it up. You can go in at the start sometime and you can go in the middle. And he also says that he will facilitate. I will give you more information outside here, but just speak with your classmate because Dawn and Sheldon don't have anything carrying from the associate level. All right. So they just depend upon them to help you in doing the other stuff.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, just depend upon them to help you do the other stuff. All right. So
I have you, Dion.
nice,
I
nice,
know, baby. I
nice,
wasn't worried. Thank you.
Yeah. Sir,
nice.
before you continue,
Yes, dearest.
I remember when you were going through the EduSoft,
Mm-hmm.
you said that when we come to the screen, we should have all 6 tick.
Right. You don't?
Me have 4.
Are you
The,
using a
the flash base one is X, and the one above it, pop-up blocker, is X.
Okay. Flash me on the pop-up. All right. What are you
I don't
using?
know if the thing there, I don't know if
What are,
the system is compatible.
what are you using?
I am on the computer now.
Are you using a
Sir,
computer? Are you using a
it
computer?
sound like one of them El Paso bus when them are
Mm-mm.
going a second and third year.
No,
So
but that's okay. Fine. Do me a favor. So before we even start, because the other two know how to get on. So before we even start, do me a favor. Just share your screen for me, please.
sir,
Mm-hmm.
I am
Just
using the phone for your class.
oh,
My cell phone.
okay.
Yeah.
So the computer now is the computer at home with you?
Yes.
All right. So at
Mr.
some
San,
point,
why we not seeing you teach?
huh?
Why we not seeing you?
No, you will. I just trying to sort out some stuff here. So what you could do, Dawn, is at some point in time, you can turn it on, let it boot up, then you log into the computer, and so it is that you can share your screen, so I can navigate you, help you to navigate
So
through
although
the.
I'm using the computer on
You still,
Edisoft, but I'm using the phone with you, your class, I can still do that?
Yeah, man. So you can log on in many devices. If you look at your participant, you see me log on twice. So I'm actually using a computer and a
Go
tablet.
back now and log on.
No, man, it's fine. You don't have to come off. You stay where you are.
I don't have to do that.
That's all right. I will walk you through it. Don't fret now. Let us move on. Don't worry about the part. We will talk about it. And now my system is. Dion, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sorry.
But somehow for me, I can't. All right, hold on. I don't know what is happening. It's buffering. I can't share. I can't share. I can't share the screen from the tablet because.
So what I can do is log on using my phone. Oh, sir.
No. I want her to see exactly what is happening to her system because your system will not have it.
No, I'm talking about something else. Mr. Panton, I'll just log on using my phone.
Okay,
And
so at least you're there in the class.
I'm on my laptop now. I log in with whoever else I have class with.
Okay, that's fine. That can work. So at least you're there and you can maybe listen on and.
Dion,
Yeah.
which course you have outstanding?
PR.
Yeah.
How teach you PR? Nothing to teach with Angela.
I wish it was her, but then give me somebody where I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain.
Blame Mr. Shana, him do it.
It's just wrong.
You always seem to get the best person.
No, sorry. So that I had nothing to do with that one.
I wish Mr. Shan was sitting in the class. I think he would have did fire him. Not even good.
Yeah, it was. Let us talk about something pleasant, please. Forgive me about that one. Let's talk about something pleasant. All right. Think here now. All right. I don't know what is happening, guys, but my system, I cannot seem to share. Oh my Jesus. All right. Okay. Let me just talk about it. So what is happening here now is so we're looking at different types of where am I? The last time we looked at anybody remember what we did the last time? We're looking at. Hello? We're looking at the different terms of statistics to describe the descriptive statistics versus the inferential statistics.
Right, sir. In terms of like the juice that it showed us the figures and what are the variables that it cause it to be in a particular way, and we have to learn to eliminate the variable that really would cause it to be whacked out. Like for instance, if you see a 0, that would be called
outlier. An outlier.
Yeah. Right, an outlier. Forgive me, not remembering the term.
Very good. Right. So what we're looking at now tonight is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio level of measurements. But what I'll do though is just to talk about let me go through the data collection methods. It's because others are not here, not that I'm going to hold you back because of them. Let me just talk about the data collection methods, and then we'll just go through some examples of how to do some calculations, because I really want to spend some time and build your confidence in doing this portion of it. So data collection methods. Let me ask you, how does one collect data for a research? How does one collect data for a research? You want to do a research. How do you collect your data?
Questionnaires.
Questionnaires. Okay, very good. What else? Is that the only method?
You can also do experiments,
Okay, good.
Can also do observation.
Very good. What else?
interviews.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So, you know, you've said it, Dion. I need to hear something from you. How else can you collect your data? And you
Looking.
by looking, which is observation. Okay. All right. Very good. So, for the purposes of this course, Sheldon spoke about experiment. We won't. I won't dwell on the experimentation aspect of it, but I'm very proud that you each gave me an example. So Sheldon first spoke about questionnaires, then Dawn spoke about observation, and Dion spoke about, you know, looking, which is the same thing as observation. And then somebody else spoke about interviews. All right, Sheldon spoke about interviews, which is very good. So those are the three types of data collection source or methods that we're going to be looking at for tonight. And we're going to have a conversation about them because I really want you to understand what is happening. And we'll also talk about the experimental aspect of it to show you how important it is. But before I get into that though, I need to have a conversation with you about qualitative versus quantitative data collection. Qualitative versus quantitative. So, you know, sometimes you'll hear them say that you're doing a qualitative study versus a quantitative study. What is the difference between a qualitative study versus a quantitative study? Anybody? Don't all rush me at once.
Repeat, that's fine.
No, I'm just saying, what's the difference between a qualitative research versus a quantitative research? In a nutshell.
Well, quantitative research deals with numbers and statistics,
Very good.
and qualitative, quantitative methods allow you to test a hypothesis by systematically collecting data.
Okay. All right. So,
And I'm sorry, qualitative also deals with words and meanings,
very good.
while
Which is what
quantitative deals with
it's
numbers.
figures.
As it speaks for itself in terms of words, quantity normally deals with numbers.
Right.
And so if it is numbers, then statistics would play a part.
Mm-hmm.
While qualitative now deals with how the thing is, if it is good, so it deals with words and meaning, what, you know, how would it represent, I guess, in a certain state and, you know, version. So,
All right. Very good. Anybody else? I need to hear
No,
from us.
sir.
No, you said no? All right. Shells?
I'm fine.
Okay. It's as if I asked for, would you like a glass of water, a beer, or something? and then I'm hearing, no, I'm fine. All right. It's not quite a beer that I'm asking you to, if you want to have. All right. So what is really happening is, yes, you're correct. So when you talk about a quantitative, quantity talks about how much. You're talking about figures. So anything with figures, you're talking about quantitative. Once you talk about qualitative, it means that you're testing a hypothesis. It means that you're talking about figures. So in short, one speaks of figures, one speaks of words. Qualitative speaks of words, quantitative speaks of figures. All right? So for example, some of the methods covered, okay, if I am doing, and I want you to tell me which is this. I am doing, I'm testing the oxygen level in a sample, in samples A and samples B.
Sorry, Mr. Sean.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, Ishmael is not in this group.
He's supposed to be.
He's not.
He's not in the WhatsApp group?
No.
He is in the WhatsApp group.
I'm not asked. All right. Oh yes, I see him.
No, man.
At work working on me. Okay.
That's right. All right. So where was I? So here my question to
Sorry.
you. I am taking the oxygen level in samples A and B. I'm measuring the different levels of oxygen in samples A and B. Will that be qualitative or quantitative?
Repeat that. Sorry. Was distracted.
It will be quantitative.
So who was that, Dawn?
No, Sheldon.
Oh, sorry. So
I'm
Sheldon
not Sheldon, I'm Don.
was saying quantitative. So here my question to you. My question is, what if I am doing a sample, taking the oxygen levels in a sample? Will that be quantitative or qualitative?
Quantity.
Quantity.
Quantity, right. It will be quantitative because I'm actually doing
Going
some
to
level of
the
measurement.
amount. Yeah.
Right, I'm measuring. If I'm counting the number of red cars that pass along Mountain View Avenue within...
Hey, Sheldon, mute now.
Counting, sir,
Hello?
quantitative.
You're not muted, sir, and we're hearing your conversation. Are you at work?
No, he's cooking at home or trying to.
Okay. All
I hear
right. So,
constant time.
right. So very good, Dawn. So my question to you was, if you are counting the number of red cars that pass by within a particular time frame along Mountain View Avenue, and you're going to be analyzing the data, is it qualitative or quantitative?
No, that is qualitative.
It is what?
Quantitative.
Qualitative.
Qualitative?
Yes, because now you're going to be using words to do your analysis on the amount of.
I am counting the number of red
You're
cars.
counting.
Yeah, but then you said that you're now going after you have counted it. So you moved on to another part. So you say after.
But the mere fact that I have figures working with it makes it
Quantitative.
Well,
But can it be a mix of both?
You can have a research that is both qualitative and quantitative, which is a mixed method approach.
Well,
right?
that would be based on what you just said.
Right. So what is happening is when you do research methods, this is going to come back to you. So you're supposed to be top of the class. So when you are doing once it is that you're talking about gathering data for analysis, it is going to be quantitative. Once it is that you are gathering, you're finding research outside of using data, it means that it's going to be qualitative. Give me an example of a qualitative. How would I get information about a qualitative research?
All right, say for instance, you're talking about the red car, and you already established that you want to find out how many red cars passed within the last hour. Then you're probably going to add to that scope that, within that, thing or whatever you're doing, you probably introduce that there were white cars that passed with a variance of different colors, but not necessarily counting them, but just establishing that they were present within the hour. And so you would say, well, you'd go into details to probably what you call it there now?
But
When
is
you
that, but is
when
that,
you
but
say
is that,
between two different things, and you
but,
know.
but is that still quality? But isn't that quantitative? Because remember, no, quantitative is just getting the data. And even though you get the data, okay, for example, do you remember the research that I presented to you last class where the students were doing testing the sugar contents in some drinks?
Mm-hmm.
You saw the amount of word up in the report?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is a qualitative research or a quantitative research?
Depends on what's in there, but
Quantitative.
It was
It was
a
a
mix.
qualitative.
Qualitative.
It
It
was
was both.
qualitative. It was it was qualitative, and I'm going to explain the difference shortly. It was qualitative. Qualitative because it is that the research was grounded on empirical data that the students would have gotten. So they used a machine, put some sample of the juice on it, get figures from it, some reading, put that in a tabular form, was able to plot some graphs, and from the graphs they would have done some interpretation of the data. Because remember, data in itself, it has to be processed, it has to be analyzed for it to have any use or any bearing on what is happening. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a qualitative research. No, for
But
example,
Mr. Shan,
uh-huh.
Mr. Shan,
Yeah, man, I'm
but
hearing you.
looking at the initial information that was on the table, it wouldn't have been qualitative.
What initial information? Explain to me.
Where you had the numbers and where you have the numbers, the results, rather some readings that, and it was after interpreting the data that you got. So wouldn't you say it's a mix of both?
It is no.
Yeah.
It is no, man. It is pure. That was purely quantitative. Remember, no. Okay, put it this way. I am getting
Because
the
you use the data. All right. So you hold on. Let me get this straight. Because you had used the data, right, to create the data that you got to create different
tables
charts.
and
I
charts. Very
remember seeing
good.
a bar chart.
Right.
So wouldn't that be quantitative?
It is quantitative, right? So we're saying the same thing. It's quantitative.
But then you went on in your further down to explaining it, which made it qualitative. So I'm saying, was that report?
No.
Wasn't that report a mixture of both?
All right.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
was saying too.
Okay. No, but you see, but remember, no, the figures alone in itself will not give any information. You must have some narrative in the research. So not because you have narrative in the research makes it a mixture of both.
Okay.
But when the research is qualitative versus quantitative, it depends on the method of your data collection. So the method of your data collection speaks to whether or not you have a quantitative research, a qualitative research, or a mixed method approach, meaning a quantitative and a qualitative research. So the mere fact that I collected data, it makes my research quantitative. All right? And because that is the method.
Oh, you were saying it was quantitative. I thought you were saying it was qualitative.
No, man, it's quantitative. It's a quantitative research.
I heard you wrong. That's why I was asking. That means that I've made it a mix.
No, man. So it's a quantitative
Because I thought you were
research.
saying it was a qualitative.
No.
Okay.
Dion,
Okay.
I don't like how your face
All
looks.
right, all right. No, this is the face that comes up when I understand
I'm confused.
something.
So you're understanding then?
I'm saying that let me get a shot at it. If I'm understanding, qualitative now would stem off of you debating then on the quantitative information that you would have gotten probably by somebody giving their opinions or experiences on whatever
Very good. Stick up in
on
right there.
whatever it is that you are trying to research.
Very good. Stick up in right there. Very good. So let me just bring across this point one more time and then pick up where you left off, right there, Dion. So remember now, when I collect my method of data collection, if my method of data collection is predominantly using it's collecting numerical values, it means that my research is going to be qualitative. Qualitative. Irrespective that when I do complete the research, you will see narratives inside of it. It is still qualitative because that's the method that I'm collecting my data. So the method of your data collection dictates what type of research you are doing. Hear this now, and I'm following up from what Dion is saying. If Dawn said earlier that when I'm doing, one of her methods of data collection is observation. Observation is going to be what kind of research, qualitative or quantitative?
Repeat that, sir.
She's collecting, she's collecting, information by observation. What is that? Is that quantitative or qualitative?
Qualitative.
Qualitative. That would be
Because
qualitative.
there's no figures, but
There's no figures. Right.
She's just observing that she sees yellow cars, but not
absolutely
definitely counting
so
how
she's
many
not
yellow
counting the
cars.
cars. Very good. So she's not counting the cars. So what is happening here now is, so once you're talking about figures, it's going to be qualitative.
Quantitative.
Quantitative. And once it is that you're talking about a narrative, it's going to be qualitative. So hear what is happening now. Hear what is happening. So when I'm doing my qualitative stuff, it means that I'm going to be using things like, I could use, as I said before, a focus group. I could do interviews. I could do observations. You know, for example, let me give you a good example. We're now in the rainy season. And one way of getting our qualitative research done up is by going into some of these communities that are flood prone and speak to the residents who live there like 30, 40, 50 years and just have an idea from them the number of times they will have a flood. Now, you know, the truth of the matter is, they may say, but all them are going to remember that, trust me, Gilbert came Monday the 12th of September, 1988, right? And it came around about 6:30-ish, just a little bit after 6 o'clock, all right? And that is etched in people's mind, even if they were born after 1988, because Gilbert was such a catastrophic hurricane at a category 5, they would have heard their parents speak about it. You know, I was pregnant with you in 1988.
Was it a category 3?
No, man.
When it hit Jamaica, it was a category 3.
When it just came, but it developed. And it went as far as up to a category 5 in Jamaica, right? But then in 1988, we never had the sort of technologies that we now have in terms of warning people, because the warning never came at all, because people were on their way out to do their normal business, and it started to rain, then the wind started to pick up, and then them say, wait, what is happening? And may her soul rest in peace, Doreen Samuels came out to say, oh, we are under hurricane watch, and a hurricane is coming, house are blow off, roof are blow off, things are happening, right? So what is really taking place is, 1 minute please, I'm in a class. What's up? I'm in a class, that's why. What on?
Shelton, I'm going to your part.
I'm mute myself. Me I cook my dinner.
Okay. So your family makes so much nice. Yeah, and forget you, where my look both.
And that me want to know, big chef.
Indian food, Sheldon.
None sorry.
I must believe we're going to bake him. So how you doing? How you keeping up?
Well, what's up? Something dropped.
No, you see, you said it. You said it right, Dion. He was trying to cook. So, you know, when I can get a little one, a
My
one up
husband, no burn up yourself.
no,
Like good body man.
yeah.
Yeah, you could have managed glass pot.
No, sir, not at all. Not at all. All right. So what I was saying to you now is that if I were to do observation, right? If I were to conduct so observation and to conduct an interview. So I am going into deep rural Clarendon where them having flood out now for argument's sake. And I'm going to look at the 80-year-old resident and the 50 and the 60-year-old resident. And them say, no man, when me a boy, the river you come down and it wash out 1 or 2 houses, what it is that you have data. You have data that is not necessarily recorded, but this is an interview. What you're going to be doing, how are you going to be reporting this? Is it qualitative or quantitative?
Quantitative.
No, this is going to be qualitative.
All
Because
right.
remember, it's interviews that you're conducting, you know.
We have a problem, you know why?
Qualitative is,
Sir, yes, it can be qualitative, but if you're going to brush into when them say it's 5 times during 1980, them the river overflowing at them yard, then that becomes quantity because it's the amount which would make it quantitative.
Okay, tell me how it is that you're collecting your data. How are you collecting your data?
I'm going to be talking to them. That's
so
qualitative.
Therefore it is, which is the point I'm making. Which is the point I'm making, not quantitative but qualitative. So your method of data collection dictates what your research is. It dictates what your research is.
Well, now I know that.
No, but I've been saying that, right? So it's going to be because of the fact that you are actually conducting interviews, you're conducting surveys. So you can do surveys too, you know, right? But if you do surveys, the surveys is really going to be more quantitative than qualitative, right? So if you do surveys, if you do questionnaires, right? It is going to be quantitative because from the questionnaires, you can get information from it, right? How many times this happened? How many times that happened? So based on what it is that you're saying now, Dion, if I created a questionnaire and I'm having an interview, I said, okay, Dion, brother, and I have a questionnaire and I said to you, indicate since the last 20 years, can you recall 3, 4, 5 or greater than 5 flooding in the area? It means now that you're collecting data, don't it? So it is going to be quantitative because you're collecting data. But because you're also conducting an interview, that now becomes a mixed method approach because you're going to be depending on what somebody says and then it is that you're going to be using the data that you collect from the stuff, right? So there's a line that is that one needs to know how it is that we differentiate. But your method, and as I said before, most research will use a mixed method approach. It's very difficult for you to have a single method approach, you know, and unless it is that you definitely don't like, we call it now, the figures for you to go ahead and do your analysis. And if you're going to be looking at a qualitative research, the qualitative research now, you will have to, for the qualitative research, you will have to go about doing, getting, for example, your things like peer reviewed for your interview questions, because you don't want your questions. And I mean, when you're doing your interview questions will be things like, you know, you may ask a question. Okay, have you ever seen a research, a questionnaire where 2 or 3 questions look like it's the same thing I'm asking?
Yes, I did that in geography. I think it was geography too.
Right. You know why? Tell me why.
When we went out, because they want to ensure that whatever information is given by the residents, that it is true, it is factual.
And it is consistent.
And
it is consistent. Right.
Yes.
So if I ask you question 1, so when I'm looking at my analysis, so when I'm analyzing my data, if when I look at question 1 and question 5 and question 15, and if the answers differ for those 3 questions, I'm throwing out your stuff because it's not factual. You see the point I'm making? But if your answers are consistent for those stuff, it means that so when they use questionnaires for argument's sake, they use questionnaires so that they have different ways of validating whether or not the questionnaire is answered properly. All right? So so you'll find questions, the same question. They just turn it in a different way, but it's the same question that they're asking. So if when you answer, I answer differently, and it's a different question you're giving, different answer you're giving rather, them throw that. This is not valid because I mean the students say it never rained yesterday, but in the other question it said that it did rain. Which one is it? You can't use that. You have to throw it out. And which is why a lot of people, when they're giving out questionnaires, they give out quite a number of questionnaires because they know that when they go and do their quality checks, some of these questionnaires can't be used. All right, because it's going to distort your findings. All right. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to go up and just read up a little bit more about qualitative research versus quantitative research. It's something that I just thought that I would talk to you about tonight. Now, so let us talk about our questionnaires.
Sir,
how does one?
Before
Yes,
you
please.
go on.
Yes, Dawn.
Before you go on. Oh, as it relates to the national census, what would it be?
You tell me.
Just,
is it qualitative or quantitative?
Qualitative or quantitative? Quantitative.
It will be quantitative because you're collecting data. They're collecting census. So what they're saying to you is that in this particular household, there are 10 people living here. All right. So what they can do now, they can say to you on this particular avenue, there are 10 households with 500 people. You see the point I'm making? So that now can inform a decision. So they will now say to NWC that here's the plan. With 500 people live on this avenue, you know, you can't have a half-inch pipe or an inch-and-a-half pipe supplying water because some people not be able to be able because we have enough water. Or you may say electricity, or you may talk about whatever else there is. All right? But yes, it is going to be quantitative because you're talking about figures. So very good question. Very good question. So census collection is going to be quantitative. And you may wonder why quantitative, why it is important. Case in point, another thing as it relates to urban development, you may have a densely populated area, but you don't have sufficient lighting in that densely populated area, and it now becomes a risk for residents to go home, especially women who walking home at night, you know, leaving work at 8 o'clock and getting home at 10, right? It may be very difficult. You can now create a case to say, within this particular geographical boundary, you have 1,000 residents, and of the 1,000 residents, you have 750 women, and you will say, and this is a census now done, and you may say, you know, that of the 1,000, of the 750 women, you have 600 of them that are of working class, and you have the other 150 that are either self-employed or stay at home. So you know that you're going to have majority of those persons on the road. So you can now create a case to JPS to say, here the plan. We have majority of our people living here, and there is no light, and it poses a risk. What you can also say is to JUTC, we have one bus can't do it because one bus can carry, for argument's sake, 20 people. And if it is that I have 500 people coming to this particular thing, it's not going to happen because the people are not going to go. So what you can do with the urban transport people is to say to them that within peak hours, you may now need to increase the number of public transportation going through this particular community because you have many more people there going out. Look at Portmore for argument's sake, right? So you may say, but sir, Portmore don't have a lot of buses because as Don says, the census that is collected, they may also now include another variable in it. In the household, is there a car? How many people drive the car? So right there and then, them can know how many people they want to take the bus. Or they may even answer the question, how many people depend on public transportation? And with that information now, they can now use that to inform that within peak hours, you're going to have 50 buses, and they will define peak hours. Peak hours may start from 5 a.m. and go up until maybe 10 a.m. All right? And you're going to have 50 buses going through Portmore because you have a lot of people coming out. in the midday part of it now, you may reduce it to only 5 buses because you expect people to be at work, so you don't need that many buses on the road. But peak hour time, you even have many more buses coming out. So these are things that the census, the whole business of your quantitative data informs quite a number of decisions in terms of urban planning, planning for the country, etc., etc. So you will also now need to say, why Portmore definitely need a hospital because they have way too many people over there, and if should in case something happen, it is going to take 45 minutes to get to UWI. It may take 30 minutes to get to KPH. It may take 25 minutes to get to Spanish Town Hospital. If there was a hospital in Portmore, it may take 10 or 5 minutes to the hospital. Time there saves lives, right? So all of these stuff, when you do your research, all of the information here now, and if this in particular, the census that Dawn is talking about, yes, it is quantitative. So therefore, it will inform a whole lot of decisions, but you can have narrative in there. You can have a narrative, but it's the main source of your data collection. All right, so questionnaires. So I was moving on before Dawn asked a question. How does one create a questionnaire? What does a questionnaire give? And don't tell me information.
Gabby is going to log on now.
Okay. Questionnaire. Talk to me now.
What is that, sir? Sorry.
No, I'm saying that we're looking at 3 methods of data collection. The ones in particular that we're looking at is questionnaire, observation, and questionnaire, observation, and we're also going to be looking at interviews. And I'm saying, how can you get information from a questionnaire?
Because you can speak about the where you went first, the person's age groups that spoke with you mostly. You can speak of the things that generally most residents are talking about, which is bad roads, dirty beaches. So based on all of that, the fact that there's not much income in that community anymore because the parties that were normally held there is no longer there, and you have some residents who will speak about noise. I'm just giving an example. So you would have asked questions like, when you're asking, may I ask your age, then you would talk about is there anything within your community that you would say would give an income? What type of work do you do? Do you have a hotel or it depends on what the questionnaire is geared to, finding out too. You have to establish that, what you want to know.
What the first set of questions on a questionnaire normally ask you?
Age. Sex, age.
Yeah.
I mean, it says sex, you're talking about gender.
Right.
I don't know why them don't change
Not
the sex.
shot.
Yeah.
And for married people, but right.
Yeah, and
age.
right.
It also asks you where you live.
Right.
What's your occupation?
Right. So it gives you a whole lot of biometric data. It gives you a lot of information about self. Because and then you get into the specificity of what it is that you're trying to find out in the research. No, when you're looking at a questionnaire, and this is just for and I mean, I have some write-up that I'll share with you. It's just that the system is not allowing me to share the screen now. So what happens normally when you're doing a research and you have like a questionnaire, you will need to do some alpha test on the questionnaire, meaning you have to validate the questionnaire. So you will have to say that.
Sorry, would you like me to find the questionnaire on what I did in the country?
You could look for it, and you could share it. Yeah, we could look for it. So what it is that you need to do, you can go ahead and look for it in the meantime. So you need to validate. You need to validate the questionnaire, because you can't just write a questionnaire and just think that, okay, that questionnaire is good. You have to sample the questionnaire to make sure that This term, you may not need to know this term just yet, but this is like Cronbach alpha. No, Cronbach alpha will have to be, some books will say 0.75, some books will say 0.8. Now, if Cronbach alpha is of an acceptable value, it means that your questionnaire is valid. If Cronbach alpha is less than that, it means that the questionnaire is not good. So what a lot of people will do is to, instead of going ahead and creating a questionnaire, they will adopt a questionnaire. And in adopting a questionnaire, they will have to say to them, the researcher or the reader of the research, that, you know, this questionnaire on religion was adopted by Shand in 2010. Cronbach alpha was XYZ. So you're giving me information now to say that this questionnaire is valid. So once you put that out there, it means that the persons who are now reading your research not going to question whether or not the data that you collect from this questionnaire is valid. Now, question. The questionnaire gives you what data? Qualitative or quantitative? Questionnaire gives you qualitative or quantitative?
Qualitative.
Qualitative or quantitative? Think about it. A questionnaire will give you qualitative or quantitative?
It can give quantitative because because then you're going to have the number of persons.
Very good. It's just that I thought you said qualitative at first. So that's why I asked the question again. So it's not qualitative, but it is quantitative because you're actually getting figures from it, right? Because on a questionnaire, it may say to you, rate the quality of the
share screen.
Okay, go ahead. So it may say to you, go to the green thing at the bottom that says share screen. Is Gabby here with us?
She was logging on, I'm not sure. Oh. Share screen.
All right. So
when I click share screen, click on what I want to share.
Click on what you want to share, yeah.
Okay.
So it comes up. So your questionnaire will give you your quantitative data. Will give you your quantitative data. All right, scroll on quickly. Let me see something. Okay. All right, stop. Scroll up to let me read through your method of data collection.
How do I scroll?
Yeah. All right, stop right there. Stop right there. And then now it is very important. It is very important in any research. The three things that they ask you for is to give you an overview of what it is that you're doing, your method of data collection, and the collection of data. The introduction, the method of data collection, and the collection of data. Those are the first three things when you're doing a basic research or any research that they'll ask you for. Let me read what she has there for method of data collection. This will be collected in Treasure Beach on Sunday, September 27, 2019. A field study will be used to collect the data, the primary data. A survey instrument. A survey instrument. Now, the mere fact that she says survey, what is it? Is it quantitative or qualitative?
Quantitative.
Quantitative. Very good. Excellent. I'm very happy that you're getting it. You know, the reason I'm being so specific, because I really want you to understand, move from tonight, the difference between a quantitative research versus a qualitative research. Right. So right there and then, me read the research and say that a survey instrument is a questionnaire. Okay, fine. Either survey or questionnaire, whichever it is, I'm collecting data. Once I'm collecting data, quantitative, right? It says several different locations within the town will be chosen for the field work. At each of these locations, interviews will be conducted. Interviews will be conducted. The mere fact that we're talking about interviews being conducted, what are we talking about?
Qualitative.
Qualitative. So right there and then, when I read this research, I know that this research is going to be a mixed method approach because she's using surveys / questionnaires to collect data, quantitative. And then she says to me now that she is going to be using, hold on, my battery needs charging. Hold on, please.
Good evening.
Hey, Gabby, how you do?
Hi, Gabby.
All right,
Okay.
all right. So, no, that's not Gabby. Is Gabby here?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good night, Gabby. All right. So, so this is what I'm saying to you. So I'm going through the stuff, and I'm so happy that all of you are able to pick up what it is that we're talking about as I go along. So when you read the stuff, it says interviews will be conducted. The mere fact that it says interviews that is going to be conducted, you know that they're going to talk about your qualitative research right there. So right there and then I can say this research is going to be both qualitative and quantitative, which is what I'm saying. Most research that are done is going to be quantitative and qualitative. It says also the interviewees will be selected by a systematic sampling survey using different every fifth location, fifth local or establishment operator, right? We'll talk about sampling methods. Sampling methods is going to be a part of that. So that's all that I'm going to be looking at that because we're talking about the method of data collection, right? So you will need to know how to collect your data. So questionnaire is one, interviews another one, and of course, observation. Observation is what? Is it observation qualitative or quantitative?
No, that's
Quality.
Qualitative. Very good, Don.
qualitative. Yeah,
Qualitative. Yeah, man.
I was
Qualitative.
going to say so.
Yeah, it's qualitative. All right. So very good. All right. So I'm happy that we able to, and as I said before, I have a lot of write-up that you can read through. I'm gonna be sending this to you. The system I'm actually using two devices. So which is when you look at it, when you look at your list of participants, you see me signing twice. The
Yeah,
other
machine is
device,
special.
Where this
right?
information will be.
I'm going to send it via WhatsApp in the group, or I can send it via email. I can send it to your email, so at least you can individually have the stuff, so you can read through. It's just additional reading, so it is that you fully understand the difference between the two and the methods. Because you see, what they can do okay, let me just stop and just say this. I don't know what CCCJ will do in terms of the final assessments. I suspect that we're going to be having continuous assessments as we had in second semester, in semesters 2 and 3. But there is a possibility where we could also have a final exam. Now, what they can give you, for example, in a final exam or in a continuous assessment, they may say to you, Jane was conducting an interview and she is deciding which method would be best to report the stuff. Is this qualitative or quantitative? So they can give you scenarios for you to say whether or not this is quantitative or this is qualitative. They could give you scenarios also to ask you which of the sampling methods is described. Is it random sampling? Is it a specified sampling? It is stratified sampling. So there are different sampling methods that you will need to know so that when you read it, you can say, no, clearly this is it. Just like how I read the method of data collection right here, and I can say this is not a purely qualitative, neither is it a purely quantitative, but this is a mixed method approach because of what it is that she said that she's going to be using. All right? So with that said, 621, that was enough talking. Let me get into, okay, scroll on, let me see something there, Dion. Let me just look at, all right, stop. So right there again, sex, male, female, I prefer the word gender, male, female, right there and then you can look at a comparative study, males versus females. You can look at age group, but if it is that you are taking the blood pressures of residents within a particular community, you can speak now of the age group. Those who with elevated blood pressures could be of a particular age group, versus those of a younger age group. Not that you won't find a younger person with that sort of elevated pressures. All right, Dee, I'm going to ask that you unshare for me, please. I'm going to share something with you and use the last couple of minutes to just go through some stuff. So as to not to put you all to bed, I'm going to share my screen, share. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with a whiteboard, and I'm going to be just be writing some stuff. And I really hope at this point in time you will have your pen, paper, book with you, so it is that you can participate in this sort of stuff. So I'm using a whiteboard here now. And with this whiteboard, I can say to you, what if I say to you, there are 5 students doing the bachelor's in business, sorry, in environmental studies. And these are the following age group. I can say 20. Sorry, let me change that color, please. So I can say 20.
Sure, if I get also right.
No, man, sorry. 20 is 1. Then I can say maybe 32. Then I can say maybe 40. Oh, I know what is the problem. I know my pen is, all right, give me a minute, please. 1 minute, please. My pen is giving me, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
All right. So let us look at what is happening here. So I am saying to you, say this represents the ages of persons doing the bachelor's in environmental studies, right? Other persons represented here. How many of us here? There are 5 of us here. So the persons represented here tonight, right? I can say maybe, so Zabi will be 15, I will be 50, Sheldon will be 46, Don will be 36, and Dion is 20. All right?
Well, that's very 46.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be committed.
Because Sheldon, you're like young girls, so that's easy enough.
All right.
So,
So
men love young girls.
So I have these numbers. Now, what I'm introducing you to is what is called the measures of central tendency. So if I collected this information, is this qualitative or quantitative?
Quantitative.
Quantitative, very good, because I'm collecting some data, all right? So I have the ages of persons represented here tonight. And Gabby's gone again. Gabby, are you here, honey?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, all right. So 20, 36, 46, 50, and 15. All right. Now, the measure of central tendencies speak about your mean, your mode, and your median. Your mean, your mode, and your median. Now, what is your mean? Your mean is your average. So you're collecting your average. Now, what do we do when we collect your average? We're going to be finding the sum. We're finding the sum of all the x's. This thing is not writing properly at all. Oh, crap. You're finding the sum of all the x's. You're finding the sum of all the x's, and then you're going to divide it by the number of the x's that you would have added. So how many x's would we have there? And x's meaning just different terms or different numbers that we would have added. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in calculating this sum, the mean for that, I will go ahead and add 20. Lord have mercy, this is not working out at all.
Sorry, sir, just so you know, we can make it out.
Huh?
We can make it out.
Oh, you can make it out? Okay. So this is going to be 20 plus my 36 plus the 46. Hold on. I don't feel comfortable with this at all.
Not making out that.
You were going well, and then you did that scribble. You normally do it in Word. What's happened?
Yeah, the computer is frozen, so which is I'm using the tablet now. So I don't want to eat up any of the class time, so that's why I'm doing that one. So I'm going to add 20 plus 36 plus 46 plus 50 plus 15. And that's all over what number?
That would be over
5.
5.
Very good. So it will be all over 5. It will be all over 5. All right. So I know who needs to get a new stylus. It will be all over 5. So this will be 15. Okay, all right. My fingertip is doing a better job than the stylus, so let me use my finger.
Sir, so this equation come from now?
What equation? No, I'm showing you how to find a mean.
Yes, sir, but it's always simpler when it then just tell you for the now you have come with the equation.
What them tell you for do, Gabby?
Normally when they're doing mean they don't say for add numbers and divide it by the sum of numbers there.
Okay,
but
so what difference am I doing right here?
The equation make it like some hard
Big maths.
Yes, basically.
That's what you're doing all along, you know. I am now explaining what it is that you're doing.
Sir, what does symbol stand for?
That's a summation sign. You should know this. Pre-calculus. That's a summation sign. So summation means that I'm adding.
The U? Yeah, that's a U, right?
No.
An X.
Sum of X.
Is that X? And that look like an N?
N.
Okay.
So go ahead for me, please. Tell me what it is. When you add up 36 to 20 to 46 to 50 to 15, what sum do you get?
The must bring them coming to talk.
Everybody's supposed to do it.
56.
So you know me know when you eat.
Wait, no. What are you talking about?
I know you are eating.
Eating what?
167, sir, you're eating.
Your
One,
dinner.
167. 167. No, I'm not actually. Don, let me send you a private message what it is that I was doing a while ago.
Sir, you are eating or drinking something. I am not stupid.
No. And I'm going to tell Dawn because maybe hopefully she's the sane one among.
Don, tell me.
Remember, so my power with Sheldon.
Stop coming here.
Sheldon.
So, sir. So
Yes,
it's
please,
167 divided by 5, which is 33.4.
All right. Sure. I sent you a message, Dawn. I can't send Dion because, it means that the class would have finished tonight.
Don, don't you tell it him I saw something. Don. Thanks. You can't let me down. You must have something, right?
So,
oh God.
Don.
Dion, let us go back to finding the mean.
Hey,
Thank you, please.
here.
Let us go back to finding the mean. So, it's going to be, and very good, yes, it's going to be 167. So that is equal to 167. And that's over 5. And what's going to happen if you don't hear it? You're going to die if you don't hear what it is?
Yes.
No, not a thing will happen to you. So it's 167 over 5. And what is 167 over 5 again?
33.4.
33.4. Very good. So the mean here is going to be 33.4. So the mean of the mean age of those represented in this meeting here will be 33.4. Well, whether or not we're going to talk about an outlier or something, we don't reach that stage yet. Matter of fact, I don't even think we even going to reach that stage. But we can speak about the average age of those who are represented here. So this is how we calculate it. By looking at by adding all the terms given and dividing by the number of terms. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Sorry, Nana, behavior.
Dawn, did you let me down?
Don, sir, I didn't know why you're that right already. I know you a long time, sir.
Thank God.
His new name, Sean, sir. You know your text all right. That's why I'm have to laugh.
All right, let's go back.
You're so out of order.
All right, God is good. So,
not wrong, you're married.
I would never let you down.
Thank you, Dawn. All right. So that's how we work and calculate the mean. Now, the mean is not difficult for us to get the mean. The mean, you're adding all the numbers and dividing the number of numbers that you have to find the mean. How do we find the mode? What is the mode? What is the mode?
No, frequency. The mode is the number that is shown frequently.
The mode is the one that occurs most frequently. What is the mode in the given set of data?
I'm sorry, the mode would be, if it's 30, I would say, sir, that it is 20. Because
Okay.
the next figure would have been 36, which would be more than the mean. So then it would be 20.
Okay. Dawn, what is the mode for you?
Sir, there's no
I
mode.
don't see a mode. I don't see a mode.
Sir, I would say
If it's the frequency, there's no number occurring more than once here.
Okay, so I hear you, Sheldon, and I hear you, Dawn, and I hear you, Dion. I need to hear you, Gabby. What say you, Gabby?
sorry, if I was to find the mode in this, I would say the mode and the average would be the same thing. Because no number appears more than once, so
So what is the mode?
33.4.
So it would
Okay.
be 33.4.
Yeah, that's what I think.
What was your response earlier, Sheldon? What
There is,
I'm taking
sir, I'm just thinking that because there's no number
Mm-hmm.
that has occurred more than once,
Mm-hmm.
so it would be the same as the mean.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So it means that the mode is no mode. Full stop.
It means that the mode is in no mode, sir.
What is a mode? Zero. You don't have a mode. The mode is talking about those that occur most frequently. So in this particular set of data, you don't have a mode. The mode is a number, the set of numbers that occur most frequently.
So you actually can say there is no mode?
There's no mode. Are you seeing any number repeating?
There's no mode.
There is no mode.
So the reason I'm answering like that, you know, because growing up, you can't say there is no mode, so
Why not?
Exactly.
If you don't have a mode, you just don't have a mode.
okay.
You can have zero mode, you can have one mode, you can have two modes, you can have three modes, whatever it is. But in this set of data, you don't have any number, any set of numbers occurring more than once. You have 20, you have 36, you have 46, you have 50, you have 15.
Sorry,
What is
so
the
we'll
mode?
write on the paper
Zero.
there is no mode, or we'll
Zero.
put zero.
Zero. If there's no mode, what number do you represent with? There's none. What number you represent none with?
Zero.
What number you present?
No.
Just one. Right. So if the answer what's a mode, it's zero. There's no mode. So zero is going to correspond with zero mode. So you have.
But sir, but what if there were zeros in it?
So that's why you can't put the zero.
No problem. All right. So okay. So you all take on this example. I'm gonna go back to mode. I'm gonna go back to mode.
Sir. So what if we had zero as one of the numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Then that would have been the mode then, right?
No.
It couldn't have been.
So you're right. There is no mode then.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Gabby.
Okay.
So what would give me an example that there would be a mode?
So, sir.
Yeah,
sir.
Go ahead, Papa. Go ahead.
So there is so what I'm saying is that writing zero mode zero would not be correct then.
Why? You have no mode, it's zero. Okay, all right. Stick up in with the mode. Let me just ask you another question, and then we'll move on from there.
Listen my reason. Listen my reason.
I understand what Sheldon is saying.
Go ahead,
Sheldon.
What I'm saying is that writing zero mode would probably be correct in this stance, but I'm saying what if we had 6 numbers and one of those numbers were 0? So what if we had 0 to the 5 numbers and make it 6? So we could not write zero mode. We could not write mode is 0.
Why not?
Because it wouldn't be
Sorry,
correct.
you're not correct. It out and said there is no mode. You couldn't write the 0.
Okay, all right. I'm going to come back to that. Press pause on that. I'm coming back to that one. And I have no problem coming back to that, but press pause. Let me just ask you one other question on this before I move into something else. Asking you one other question. So we spoke about the mean, we spoke about the mode. What about the median? What do you think the median is talking about here?
The middle.
Okay. How do you find the middle? What is the middle? What is the middle one?
The number that appears in the middle after you put the number is in ascending or descending order.
Very good. So what is that a number? 46?
No, 36.
Why?
Because it would, it's
2015, 36.
if it start, sorry, it start with 15, then 20, then 36, then it's 46, then 50, and
Very good.
36 would be in the middle.
Or you could go 50, then 46, then 36, then 20, then 15. Very good, Gabby.
And
So
36 would be in the middle.
very good. So very good, Gabby. So what Gabby is saying is that in looking at the median, the median is going to be the number that falls in the middle when arranged in ascending or descending order. In ascending or descending order. So it must be arranged in ascending or descending order for you to calculate what the median is. Because if you look at the data, how the data is written, 20, 36, 46, 50, 15, you look at it, you can't say 46 is the median because the 46 lies in the middle right there. The data must be arranged. The data must be arranged. Remember, I spoke to you about that on Tuesday. You can't just collect the data and expect that everything is finished. Data in itself does not mean anything. The data has to be organized. So it is that you can infer from that data, which is why we spoke about the two types of statistics, descriptive and inferential. So you describe something, you can infer something from something. All right? So, so this is what it is here. So any question as it relates, and that's what we talk about, the measure of central tendency. Calculating the mean, the mode, and the median. Calculating the mean, the mode, and the median. The measures of central tendency. Question.
The measures of central
tendency, yeah. The mean, the mode, the median. So they can ask you, they can give you a set of data and ask you to calculate the measures of central tendency. You will need to know.
Excuse me, sir.
Go ahead, Gabby.
You don't do the range in it either.
No. The range is something else. The range is a different category. The range has a different name to it. Once I talk about the measures of central tendency, it speaks only of the mean, the mode, and the median. It speaks only of the mean, the mode, and the median. All right? Talking about other areas, like the range. The range is when you talk about dispersion, how the data disperses or the variation of the data, right? But once you talk about central tendency, talking about mean, the mode, and the median, the range is talking about how widely spread the data is. So we talk about dispersion. So when you think of range, the range of the data is going to be the highest value minus the lowest value. So you know how far the data stretches. That you can say will be dispersion, right? Because you're seeing how far the data goes. The measures of central tendency speaks of the mean, the mode, the median. And then now when you're talking about, when you're finding that the percentages and the frequency and you're counting, all of that is on a frequency. So there are different types of what it is that we're calling descriptive statistics, right? So we're looking at one type of descriptive statistics, which is the measure of central tendency, all right? Now, I'm going to erase this because I like the conversation that I was having earlier. And the conversation was the one with, no, not that one, Dion. The one that Sheldon was saying about the, what do you call it now?
The mode.
The mode, right. So allow me to discard this one, clear my dots. Allow me to write something here.
Oh, Dan was asking for example the mode, sir.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
So 15,
sometime in there, remember, you know?
20, 21, 30, 15, 18, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I give you 7 sets of numbers. All right? What is the mode of that data?
The 20.
20.
You see them faster than me. I think you don't write it out first.
What's the mode of that data?
Frequency, Dion.
Huh?
The N1 sir is 20 or 21.
It's
20.
Oh, 20. Oh, yes, 20, sir.
What's the mode?
No.
the mode is
20.
20.
What's the mode, children?
Oh, sir. But it's two of them. Sir, I think it's
20 and
15 and
15.
20. 15 and 20.
Sir, isn't that a
Oh.
13?
You're right, bad.
Sir, is that 15 that? The swear things are 13.
I never know say I want 150. I think a 13
I think
too.
a 13.
Sir, so there are two sets of modes.
Very good.
So,
Did I add them up?
No, no, Miss Gabby.
so you can have several modes, but sure that we are talking about.
Give him
We
the
have
one
a-
with the 0, sir.
I won't go with the one with the 0, but yes, you can have several modes. Yeah. So in this one, what's the mode?
15 and 20.
20.
And 20.
15 and 20. Very good. So you have two sets.
Sir, you can have more than one mode as the answer.
See it yourself on the screen.
Sir, because what I'm used to, if you have more than one of them, you have to add up the numbers and divide
No,
it.
miss.
Difficult
No,
to
miss.
find the average.
No, miss. That is creating the mathematics. The mathematics is already created. You don't need to create anything more.
Okay.
All right. So think about it. So yes, you can have more than one mode. Now, so 15, 20, 21, 30, 15, 18, 20. The mere fact that 15 occurs an equal number of times when compared to 20, it means that both of them share the mode.
Ah,
All right.
you use a word. You said equal, sir. Equal amount of time. So if 15 presented itself 3 times, then it would have been 15 and not 15 and 20?
There you
That's
go.
what
That's
you're
correct.
saying?
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
Because it still would be the one that appears the most.
The most.
Okay.
But in this case, 15 and 20 appears the most in the set of data.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have the data where you have no mode. You can have the data where you have 2 modes. You can have the data where you have 3 modes, or whatever it is. So when you're talking about large set of data, that's the time when you have, a greater number of modes coming out at play. So give me an example now, Sheldon. Sheldon, remember you're asking a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So give me an example of what it is that you're asking, so we can talk about that.
Okay, so I want you to have 0, 15, 30, 45, and 60. What is
What's
the mode? So the answer would be there is no mode.
There's no mode.
But how is it that 0, but 0 is a number here?
But you couldn't put 0.
That's my problem.
And 0 here means
Unknown?
no.
0 is a numeral. Mode equals.
No mode.
So it means that there is no mode.
But if it's okay for me to write 0 as the correct answer?
And I'm saying to you, that's what I'm qualifying. What I'm qualifying now, is what 0 means. I'm saying to you, when I was explaining to you, okay, let us look at the first one. 15, 20, 21, 30, 15, 18, 20. What's the number of mode in that question?
15 and 20.
15 and 20. How many modes you have there? You have 2 modes, don't? What are they? 15 and 20. So I'm saying to you, in this case, even though 0 is one of the numbers, I'm saying to you that it has no mode. It is 0. 0 signifies no mode. I'm not saying that 0 is the mode because I don't have this.
No, but so what we are saying, sir, is in writing the answer with is it okay to write the answer as 0 versus writing 0 mode?
Or which is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you. You are correct, you know. I'm saying to you, when I say that it is 0, I'm saying to you that it's 0 mode. It is no mode.
Okay, hold on. You know what I get it? It's just a play on the English, you know. Because if you were to write 0, it would be incorrect versus 0 mode.
Which is what I'm saying to you. So
okay,
what I'm saying to you is right. So in the
so it's really a play on the English word, the English language.
Which is what I'm saying. So when you look at the top example up top, the 15, 20, 21, 30, 15, 18, 20, you have 2 modes in that one. Not the number, not the numeral 2, you know, but 2 modes. What are the 2 modes you have? 15 and 20. In the one beneath that, you have 0 mode, right? Meaning said, there is no number that repeats itself more than once. Every number in the set of data occurs just one time. That's what it means. So that's what 0 means in this particular case. And you'll recognize.
So we're not hearing you.
You're not hearing me?
No, you're little a while ago.
Oh, sorry. You may have a word that has multiple meanings. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness.
You know what? That was innocent, and y'all are going to turn it around now.
Let me tell you something. Is it the God that I serve? It's one that has a very good sense of humor.
Dr. Shan, sorry.
No, hold on. Remember at the start of the class? You remember at the start of the class? Karma. I won't tell you what she is. You understand? I won't tell you what karma is, but I'm happy that that came out of your mouth. Bless the Lord. Yeah. But yes, Sheldon, you get what I'm saying in terms of, it's a play on the word. What is 0 means that the answer is not 0. But it means that 0 in this case is interpreted that it has no mode. Because mode means that the number that is repeated and repeated most frequently. So as Dion was asking, if I had another 15, sir, because 20 appears 2 times and 15 will now appear 3 times. The answer would be 15. Why 15? Because 15 appears the most. 15 appears the most frequent, right? And what would be the median for the, oh, sorry. So go ahead now and calculate the mean for the top one for me, please. Calculate the mean for the top one for me. Quickly.
121.86.
And? No. Oh, we are going with that.
19.
15, 20, 21.
Hold on, sorry, my bad.
19 point who, Gabby?
9. Because 19.8.
Sorry.
Go on, so I rounded off to 9. 19.9.
It will be 19.9. Okay.
19.9.
19.9. Okay, cool. Got you. All right, very good.
Something.
And what would be, all right, fine. So I think you get that right there. All right, good. So what it is that I would have introduced you to is a measure of central tendency. We had what I consider a fruitful conversation about mean, mode, and median. I think you would have gotten an explanation and understanding of the mode that you can have 0 mode, no mode. You can have no mode. You can have 1 mode, you can have 2 modes, you can go up because it relates to the number of times, the frequency at which the data appears the number appears in the set of data. All right. You also can speak about the mean. The mean is talking about the average. What you would have done in this example up top, we would have 7 sets of numbers. So it means, Gabby, when you're going to little school, them tell you say add up all 7 of them and divide by 7. In big school, you're finding the sum of the 7 numbers, which is that funny looking sign there, the summation sign, X. It means that you're finding the sum of the 7 numbers. And N is denoted the number of numbers. You know, remember in pre-calculus, when we're looking at sequence and series, N is always used to represent the number, right? So that N is representing the number of. So you're going to add up those, you're going to find the sum of the numbers, 15 plus 20 plus 21 plus 30 plus 15 plus 18 plus 20, 160 plus, and then you're going to divide by 7, and then you're going to end up with your 19.857, and that gives you your answer. So guess what? Any question at all that appears as simple as this as it relates to the measure of central tendency, none of you should have a challenge with this. All being well, on Tuesday of next week, I will give you a larger set of data, and I will ask you to group the data. So in grouping the data, I may say to you, I want you to group the data in intervals of 4, meaning 0, 1, 2, 3. Or I mean, let me put it something else. I may say intervals of 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? Then we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, right? So your interval width is going to be exactly the same at all times. And by then the system will be up and working, so I can actually demonstrate it on the computer and show you. So, and then with the group data, I'm going to ask you to calculate the measures of central tendency, because on an exam, they may give you a set of data, maybe 25 different numbers. And they will give you the length, the width of the bandwidth, and the width, they may say to you a width of 4, and you will look at the lowest data you have, and then you count out 4. So if the lowest data is 3, we have 3. Well, you will start with 3, and you move up with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you see how many numbers lie between 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and you indicate that. I'll show you. You may not follow what I'm saying just now, but I'll show you what it is that we're talking about. So it is that we can go ahead now with our grouped data to calculate our mean. How do we calculate the mean of a grouped data? How do you calculate the median of a grouped data? How do you calculate the mode of a grouped data? So there's a different formula that you're going to be using. Finally, Gabby, you may ask you asked a question earlier, why am I using the summation of x over n? Because in statistics, what happens is that you are going to be using a whole host of different formulas, and you better didn't know which formula is for which. That's what it is. You're talking about a whole host of that, and you need to know. I'm going to read something again for you, Gabby. I don't think you were here when you read it. Statistics is a branch of mathematics that deals with the study of the collection, analysis, interpretation, organization, and presentation of data. It says mathematically, statistics is defined as a set of equations which are used to analyze things. So it's a set of equations that we are going to be using, Gabby, to so analyze the things that we're talking about. So get with it. Don't come to me, sir, you add up all of this and divide by that. I want the equations, because these equations will now help you with the analysis of what is happening. All right?
Yes, sir.
Any questions before we go?
Canvas. Your course is not going to be on Canvas. It's on.
All right. So the course is on Educosoft. Period. Canvas is there. What I will do is, like the syllabus, I will just paste some general notice on Canvas. So you're going to check both Canvas and Educosoft.
Not seeing your course on Canvas. I'm seeing Miss Malcolm's.
Yeah, man. Because remember, you're doing a math course. You know, the math courses are actually done using Educasoft.
Sir, so it's like how I did pre-calculus. I'd have the same account or I have to create one.
You all have your accounts for this course already. Matter of fact, you guys need to log on and start reading your tutorials.
Sir, so we just go on it.
You are there under your ECC address. So emails were changed to using your ECC's address. So please, your ECC school address, you need to look at that. Oh, Sheldon, they sent you your acceptance letter, but I think they attached somebody else's letter to it. But it was sent using your ECC.
I don't have access to that email.
Okay, so we need, all right, so please remind me tomorrow, there are two things that I need to sort out for the group. Canvas registration, and I mean, you're already registered on Canvas, I should say. But just to reset the password for Canvas and that for your ECC account, because maybe that's why nobody's logging on to doing their Educasoft stuff, because all of you are down using your ECC email.
I can access my Educasoft.
I'll try to access my Educasoft, but I can access Canvas. It's no problem for me.
All right,
I can access Canvas too. And I didn't try for the area there. Oh, that's and that, yeah. I haven't opened the test yet.
All right, but I'm going to ask that, you see, it's a lot of reading and understanding and interpretation that we need to do. So what I don't want to happen is that you try to do that a night before the test or something. I'm going to ask that you start doing some reading from now, just to ensure that you are understanding, you're following what is happening on top of things. If I create a scenario to you, you should be able to tell me what exactly it is. All right? So I'm logging on and I'm seeing where only two people, Sheldon and Dawn, are the only two who have accessed their Educasoft thus far. And I'm seeing where he accessed it 2 days ago, 11:36 p.m. And I'm seeing where Dawn accessed hers on 2 different occasions, yesterday and today. All right, guys, I have another class. We'll talk. We can put all the other queries in the group. Dawn, you and I will talk about getting onto Educa. You're on?
Yes, sir.
All right, bless your heart. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Good night.